Hey guys, welcome to Inbound After Hours episode 1. Today we have our wonderful team with us. We have Ricky, we have Andrew, we have Paul, and we have James over looking after our cameras. How you doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, good.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Long day?
Up for it.
Yes. Yeah, now we've got a beer. Okay then, let's go straight and talk industry news. Ricky, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, well, last night in bed, watching videos as always on Facebook, one of the ones that really jumped out to me was a Gary Vee video. He proclaimed that by 2019, 80% of content we consume online will be in video or audio format, unwritten formats, if you like. I thought that was a really apt start with what we've got to talk about today, and also just a really interesting topic. It's got me thinking, so I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
Don't bother blogging then.
That was my takeaway, but
ignore today's topic, everyone.
Yeah,
we don't need it, just video.
I think you're right, Ricky. I mean, as you know, we come back from Inbound in November, and the entire 3-4 days was video content.
Yeah. Everyone said,
yeah,
do video.
But we can repurpose through transcripting or writing a blog about the video. As you know, Google, you guys are professionals, you'll tell better than me, Google can't actually read the SEO on video, is that correct? Or?
yeah, no, they can't read video files, get the gist of what it's talking about, and then show that up to a user in search. They rely on metadata, so title tags, descriptions, actual tags, a bit like SEO was 10 years ago, really. So having, when we're specifically talking about blogging, which we're going to with relation to video, I think when you put it up, it's important to back it up. If you want to show in your results in the search rather than YouTube, back it up with the written blog behind it, where people can go into more depth, really, that you couldn't do in a video. You want to show things step-by-step lists.
The thing is as well, people do want to read still, don't they?
Yeah,
I know I do.
Oh, definitely.
Looking at some videos, you have to flick around and dive into bits of the video to see if it's what you want to watch. Whereas if it's written, you can skim it quickly and then see if you want to dive in and read it properly, can't you? So I think there's still a place for both. I mean, we've done your Inbound Answered and done a written version of what you've said underneath.
Which is talks about different bits and deeper dives.
And that's what Moz do with all their videos, isn't it? Because they know
transcribed.
That's the SEO benefit of, 30 minutes of video is a lot of text, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, my key takeaway is we're obviously going through a huge change in media at the moment. I won't be the only person consuming videos in bed at night. Most people, probably in our industry, will be doing things like that. If you look at people walking down the street, people sat in bars and restaurants, most people watching or looking at something visual. We're in that step change away from written content, which was the big step up and the big win 10 years ago. People moving into written content, even 5 years ago. You were ahead of everybody. Now you're not.
And the technology's picking up as well, isn't it? And it's so easy to do. And I think the written aspect has been that organic ranking and that whole thing, and now video is sort of intersecting that, and with social media and stuff, that is that quick win, isn't it, of getting that out of the reach on social through video. Facebook, that's all your news feed's filled with nowadays, isn't it? It is just video imagery, so it's sort of, you still need the text below, but that's the quick win.
I think the other point is the way people are discovering and finding content's changing to adapt to the media. So written content works extremely well for SEO, it works for people searching on Google, but a lot of people today aren't. That's why they're not starting the journeys there anymore. A lot of people are starting on
YouTube,
Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram.
Second biggest search engine, isn't
exactly. It? And because these are the primary mediums for people now, you've got to be on video to be on these channels, or to do particularly well on these channels.
It's as easy to watch a 10-minute video on your phone in 1080p as it is to search for an article on your phone on your screen, whereas 5 years ago that wasn't the case. No. You had to pay loads data charges or whatever. Now it is just as easy, so that it's obvious that we're lazy. We're a lazy race. You're going to go for that ease and the quick answer, which is video.
But I think for marketers, particularly people like us, the guys listening, it's just starts out giving me a good kick up the arse to make sure I get on and do these things, to make sure I'm not left behind, and investing the time now in things like what we're doing here, video strategies, audio strategies, they're going to get you ahead in the long game, and just being aware that change is coming and preparing for it just puts you in the
There's
driving
still a
seat.
place for written content though, isn't there? I know
When you're a writer.
I'm
Not against that. I agree.
Just like if you're looking, say, for instructions or like a cooking recipe, every cooking programme on telly will send you to the website where you can read the written recipe.
Plus, you want that there next to you as a reference point, and
And I think, if Ricky came in tomorrow and said, we're not blogging anymore, we're just doing videos every week, when you click on blog on our website, it's just going to be videos. I wouldn't be confident we're going to get that same amount of leads and interaction through. We just wouldn't, but it's that adding it into the mix, isn't it?
It's a blended strategy.
You've got a healthy written strategy with your downloads, your workflows, your inbound essentials. Videos now coming in as that differentiator and the attention grabber early on. It doesn't have to be a big video, 30 seconds, and that could bring someone to a page, to a blog. They might end up then downloading the ebook and doing all the normal stuff, but it is bringing people in at that first point and sort of standing out is where video helps.
So what you're saying for kind of busy marketers is keep writing and do the video
and
do the audio.
Just do everything, do more, and it's really easy, and just it's fine.
But there's a middle ground as well, and I agree with everything you're saying, and I'm one of them people who watch videos in bed. I watch Gary Vee in bed, similar to you. I'm a geek like yourself, Ricky, and I also think there's that middle ground of audio, such as the podcast we're listening to now, so you get your content and your video, and I do a hell of a lot of driving to visit clients, and I'm always listening to audiobooks. Always.
It's the beauty, isn't it, of recording something like this. We're going to do it, we'll have it out there as an audio for commuters or whatever. I commuted for 6 years in previous roles and listened to that much, music, podcasts, everything, and it's just
You do get fed up with listening to music or fed up with listening to the radio.
It's strange, like your brain takes, audio goes in sometimes a lot easier than reading, and there's definitely a massive market where podcasts are absolutely huge nowadays, aren't they?
And that sort of grey market of people having videos on the background, not actually watching or listening. Like the audio side, I don't think can be underestimated really. Jumping straight from written to video, there's that middle ground, as you say, in the audio.
You need writing though.
Back to blogging. Bring it back.
Today's topic is on blogging, it is on writing. We will be doing episodes on video and more on audio. Today, let's start with content. So blogging. So we've had loads of questions, and we've tried to filter these out into 4 sections. Hopefully, you guys can help me answer some of these. So let's talk frequency. In fact, no, let's talk length.
Okay.
Right, so
love talking
this
about
is the most favourite subject. Let's talk length. How long should blogs be? So this is our most asked question. How long should they be?
Long enough.
Long enough.
Long
The
enough.
bigger the better.
Answer the question, and then the right amount should be natural to answer the searcher's query. That's in a nutshell.
In an ideal world, you should just be able to answer the question. That should be good enough for your strategy. I think if your strategy's SEO reliant, which is my background, length actually matters. And even though it feels like I think if you feel like you're fluffing out the subject, you're doing it wrong. I think the way to think about it is if you're trying to answer the question, answer all of the queries the user might have around that question in the same piece to make it longer and more attractive to Google. Because ultimately what they want is the user to type in a query, them to go to a link, and them to be satisfied that they've got the answer there. What's a negative signal to them is someone poker sticking, so going in, clicking a link, that's not answered it, going out, that's not answered it, going out, that's not answered it, going out. Because they know they've got a bad search there, they've put up the wrong results. So length matters when it comes to SEO. Sorry, you threw me your comment there. Length matters when it comes to SEO.
Quality as well is where I was going.
That's
where I'm coming
exactly.
It's that. Unfortunately, there isn't an easy cheaty way of it. Like a longer post, it has to be high quality because you've written more useful stuff. You need to aim. You can push yourself to 1,000 words, but the one that's 2,000 but is actually better because it's got more answers in it. Then Google, they know what they're talking about and they're going to rank that higher. I don't know what you think about things like rich snippets and answer boxes where we know there is bits of formatting and things you can do that are going to get you in there whether you've all got 800 word blogs, the first 10 on page 1 might have it, but if you do tweak it, and you might have a bit of a shorter one, but it ain't in. They do get in that answer box because they answer it quicker.
So when we've got like a mid-domain authority, average domain authority for a website our size, whatever, on the website, on the blog I'm thinking of that's got in the answer box, it's answered it very quickly in short amount of words.
Yeah.
That has gone in the answer box.
It has to fit in.
And then and we've done the tricks like you say, number this, blah blah blah. And then underneath that we've got a deep dive answer. I don't think it's any coincidence.
No, it's not.
1,200 words in the full blog. It can be answered in 50.
Because I think Google's gone.
Google's looked
on page. It's gone right. Before it was that rich snippet, it's looking at its page 1 answers first, which are the 1,200 worders. So it's going of those long ones, which one answers it quickest, right? I'll bank that at the top. So I think you need to have it long enough to even be in the running for the other extra stuff.
It stages then, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know we've moved a little bit onto SEO, but the lines between SEO and user experience have completely blurred, and this is another case of that. What they're looking for is a blog that's laid out for how readers want to consume content today. So they want the answer quickly, they want the list formatted, they want the blog properly formatted, because most people don't actually read blogs, they skim read them, so they need to be formatted and laid out in a proper way. And I think that's how, if you do that, you're ticking every box, you give them the answer, you've laid out in a way which works for them, you've got the length and deep dive for those who want it on specific topics, and I think that's what works. But tying it back to the answer, the longer the better. Look at our blogs, we average 1,500 words, our top blogs are all 3k words plus.
Yeah,
and that's
the answer.
When it can't be waffle. Yeah.
No, it's quality, formatted stuff as well.
That's the answer I guess the listeners want to hear, Ricky. So, okay, good. Let's talk about frequency then. How many times should we be blogging? Is it daily, twice a day, 3 times a day, once a month?
So, right, where to start? I think you've got to look at it with what resources do you have available. It's great to say, if we could all blog 10 times a day, I'm sure we would do. If it was easy and we could click our fingers, that'd be awesome. We can't, so you've got to look internally. Who's available to write? How can we answer people's pain points and questions and get the most bang for our buck from this blogging thing we're doing? Ideally, you're blogging every week at a minimum, definitely.
I think that's the minimum entry point now for inbound, is once a week.
And that's compound SEO over your 6 months before you start to rank. You need that. Yeah. Social media, you need something to share. Yeah. Sharing third-party news every day is not going to cut it. Becoming a thought leader, people won't. They need to pick up your name. You need to be regularly commenting on things. And going back to SEO, minimum I'd say twice a week as a starting point. If you're going to bother, I'd do it twice a week and then work your way up from there based on who's available to write. If you can blog every day, you're going to quickly overtake people in your industry.
And that's again, the market's catching up. A couple of years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, you could have blogged once a week, or even probably once a month comfortably, and being the thought leader in your industry. Now everybody's doing it, or everyone's trying to do it. You've got to cancel out that noise. That's why frequency is more important. And again, going back to data, more is better. But Andrew's obviously caveated that with a sensible point of more is better, but with the resources you have available.
We did that experiment, didn't we? 1 blog a day for a month, 7 blogs a week for a month. We ended up getting twice as many.
We got twice as many customers, 50% more views. It was a huge success for us. That was a great learning for us and something we carried on through because the results are so good.
But I think it's just, don't worry if you don't think your industry's right for blogging, you don't think anyone else is doing it, because ignore that, because we know everyone's searching. Everybody's looking for answers, so if you can carry on writing, you're gonna quickly take over.
We'll link to it in the show notes, but there's a lot of big studies by companies like Moz and HubSpot which show what frequency does. They're a little bit out of context with real companies like us and most of the people watching, where a slow day for them is 11 blogs a day, a high day for them is 30. So they're out of context, but what they show is that frequency matters and frequency brings results, which is why we did the test Paul's alluding to. We wanted to see how does that work and does that scale for real businesses, and it does. And again, we'll put that in the show notes as well.
And Andrew mentioned resources. It took, when we did it, we had 2 full-time writers, and probably 1.5 writers working on that task.
Yeah.
It used up an inbound campaign's worth of content.
Definitely.
And distracted attention from other work.
And
so it probably was too much, wasn't it, to do forever?
Yeah.
But it did bring the results, so then you've got to balance that. Is it worth it, actually?
Yeah.
Because
if I remember rightly, we did some kind of a schedule guide. Is that right?
So the schedule guide is for publishing. So what we do is on the day we write a piece and we publish it live on all of our social media accounts, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google Plus we still do for some reason, but it's actually
it works.
It works.
Which works.
I don't know who's on there, but they're coming to us. But maybe we're the only ones still posting there, so we've just got this huge sort of market share. And then we'll republish out again on the networks depending on what's an acceptable frequency, so Twitter more often, LinkedIn less often. And that works for bringing traffic into those blogs. When we're pumping out 30 a day in that test, that was a lot of social noise. Not 30 a day, 30 a month. 30 a day would be a lot of social noise.
Let that one ride out,
There's a lot of social noise there, which was good. It got our social media stats up. It was driving more visitors and more traffic as well.
Watch the HubSpot video from last week. The social media lady at HubSpot did a video conference, and she was talking about social frequency at one point, and she was saying attention spans on social are even shorter than you can imagine. So in a way, don't be afraid of posting that little bit more. But what interestingly, she did still go to the same guidelines that we follow off co-schedule on Facebook, LinkedIn, which was about once a day. Someone asked the question of once a day on Facebook, is that enough for a business, or should you do any more? And she said, she skirted around it and gave a bit of a diplomatic answer, but basically, once a day on Facebook, and just go for it on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. It's a numbers game, Twitter, isn't it? Definitely.
Okay, that you kind of answered my next question, which is traffic. How to get people to your blog? Is there anything else we could be doing?
We touched on a couple, haven't we? I mean, the interesting one that Andrew started talking about before was the rich snippets, wasn't it? Which just give us
it's sort of like SEO 2.0. Over the last couple of years, we've got these extra things that Google has given us to sort of look good on page 1. So organic is the obvious one, but then there's this extra tier. If you can format your page in a certain way, Google will show that as a better answer. It will put it above number 1, and it will often show an image and a bit more about that actual page. The typical one is like a recipe. You'll always probably get a rich snippet for a recipe, like a cake or something.
A page of them sometimes.
You can do. And you may think, okay, well, if I'm giving that answer in 5 bullet points, how to do this thing, no one's going to click through, and they're going to get the answer in the search results. I think that's one of the big worries when Google released this. And we found the absolute opposite. People always click through. They get the answer, but it's human nature. They think they might be missing out on a bit of extra something or other.
I think people feel like,
and you're there.
You want to say, you got the egg one, I'll check out what else you want.
Well, I'll check it out, and what's more sort of authoritative than you being put up in this formatted box by Google as bang, a big badge, isn't it? There you go, you couldn't trust it anymore, so you'll get all the traffic, you've got to
get SEO in first though to get onto page 1, haven't you?
You've got to be hovering above position 5 to even be considered, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then you got the little recipes for it that you mentioned.
But you can rank 4 or 3 and be in the rich snippet as well, which is quite good for something you're never going to rank number 1. A big news site.
And if you think about it, there's very few things you can answer in that box. And the common ones are, like you say, recipes and stuff. But when most of the things that are in those rich snippets are just normal answers. So I mean, one way you've got in there is how much does AdWords cost. okay, we've written an answer that's one sentence, it says on average cost is 80p or whatever it is. Well, it's not anymore, but you know what I mean. But there's actually there's an actual proper answer behind that it depends on what your budget is, who you're targeting. So that doesn't actually answer the question. It's just give them an indication.
They do add an ellipsis, don't they?
Yeah.
Like the answer is this ... and they just lead you to click. Go on, like you said, Andrew. What am I missing out on? So click. That's a great traffic driver.
And I think a good 75% of questions people ask will need that deeper dive. The only people who won't be clicking through is, I don't know, when was George Washington born? And there's an answer, and it's that, and that's the end of the story.
I know the question everyone's going to be actually asking who's watching this is like, well, how do I do that? It's all well and good us saying it's great, but how on earth do I do it? And it just goes back to what we started this podcast with, which is quality, a bit of know-how. We'll put some blogs in the show notes of like
we've done
how to do it. You know, we've done guides on this, but don't rely on the technical bits too much, because we've had things when the rich snippets which we didn't try to do that. We just obviously wrote a great blog, it answered the question naturally, and Google did the rest. So don't worry too much about being a marketing expert and knowing a bit of code and all this, that and the other. Just focus on, again, value, decent length, answering the question in a nice package, and you will get some in there.
It's when you watch any of the Google, like read the Think with Google or watch any of the video presentations they do, and they just say, don't they, whenever there's an update, look, everyone asks us, what's the secret, what's this? And just give the best quality content.
Let Google do what it wants to do. Like, Google's desperate to, everyone just write naturally and we'll figure it out, but as SEOs and marketers, we try and cut corners, and you can. But Google will always want you to just...
I think that's just been a huge red herring of the inbound industry, is content is king. I wish no one had ever said that, because people just think I can buy a website, I can write a blog, I can do what I want, and if it's great they'll find it, because nothing could be further from the truth. If you've got domain authority 1, which is what you start with when you buy a new website, and you write the best blog on earth, unless you're the only one writing about that, or unless it's really niche and there's not even 10 people writing about it, so you're going to be ranked 10th anyway, nothing can be further from the truth. You need good SEO, which can be basic and easy, and it's not a technical thing. You need a strategy. You can't just release great content. I wish we could.
Content is king in time, I'd say. You cannot, there's no quick wins. It'll be years if you don't put a strategy in any technical sort of input. But let's just say you wrote the best stuff ever. You genuinely did. It's going to take you a couple of years.
Even if you wrote the best stuff ever and you didn't do any SEO, you didn't share it socially, no one ever heard about you, wouldn't rank. I think content is king, but once you've done your foundational work.
Content needs to be good, but also do the SEO. And
it's all
just do everything and you'll do more. Chuck the video on top.
What about viral? I know the blog we did on coffee. What was that blog called? Do you remember?
No one gives a shit how many cups of coffee agency drinks.
And do you want to explain to the viewers how that went and what it was about? That's a great.
So it's just a bit of an off-the-cuff one from that I wrote, really, doing a lot of competitor research. I was just seeing a stat all the time, like we drink 10 coffees a day through to 100,000 a day, or whatever they were. I think it had become so frequent that people had baked it into templates of websites. So you had this coffee stat thing you had to fill in. And credit to the guy who did it first, because it's a quirky thing, it's good to show personality.
You just love coffee.
He loved coffee, and it's good for him to let people know, but it's when everybody adopts it. I know, poor guy. But everyone stole his idea and rolled it out. So I wrote a piece on inbound.org about this, which is a community for people doing inbound, and there's a lot of agencies on there. But I think right in terms of why it went viral and why it got that many views and comments is because it was in the right place. Inbound.org is that community for that type of person.
Quite niche in the grand
scheme
of things.
No, exactly. And it was emotive, like putting a swear word in there doesn't hurt a little bit, does it, these days? And people who are reading it will have done it, and they've got a comment on that,
seen it,
and it is a genuine trend, and I think other people will have noticed it.
It did resonate. Some people come across, and you gave a few examples, and you were just trying. You were putting it out on Facebook or generically out on search. You were putting it to a couple of thousand techie inbound marketers who ready to hear it, and it's just like,
and it was great.
Light switched on.
Yeah, it was great because everyone was commenting, and some people get offended.
Yeah,
and then some people
Americans.
we were just like, what about the office plant or the office dog? And everyone would start going to the about us. I think we had an office plant on our about us page, and I removed it after.
I mean, there was a woman saying, I'm going to take my dog off my website now, and I just felt awful. I was like, I'm so sorry, like,
giving it away.
Yeah, don't do that just because I'd said that.
And then it just fueled itself, then, and people start commenting against each other.
Yeah,
that's the beauty when someone spots this has had a few hundred comments, and you automatically think that's worth reading and then commenting, and it just goes from there, doesn't it?
I think got emailed out as well, didn't it?
HubSpot and Ep1.org,
which again
helps. I mean, the key to all of that is know your persona, know your audience that you're writing to, because if you can genuinely resonate with people, there's nothing better, is there?
And again, just very quickly, like, not to forego the technical stuff we were just talking about, but if you're in a random industry, construction or whatever it is, the stuff that could go viral is the stuff that's going to come easiest to you to write about, because it's the stuff you know and only you know, or the people that are doing what you do know. So with blogging, sometimes you think, I need to bring in all these new people, these new customers who've never heard of me, and yes, you do that, and that's why we blog, but topic-wise, just think about the stuff you're talking about in your office and the stuff that you're struggling with today, because that's the stuff that eventually someone's going to pick up organically or on social, and they're going to share it.
That's the idea of this podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, we're trying to talk about stuff that we know you're struggling with, because we have done at one point.
And customers are telling us it.
Yeah, well, it's a question we get asked by customers, so just your niche is big enough, just remember that, that's why your company's been set up. There's enough customers out there, you don't have to try and get the people off the street.
No.
Just speak to the people in construction and you're good to go.
No, exactly.
There's blogs and tips out there and the recipes of what makes a post go viral, which I think are good to follow, but you should never hope to go viral.
No,
I think that's the most ridiculous thing.
You'll be let down.
You will. Exactly. But they're all just good things that make people read and engage and share, which all that's going to do is bring up your traffic. It's an emotive title, it resonates with people, and then it's entertaining to read, either in a way that pisses you off, because I do give a shit.
That was
coffee.
exactly.
Or I think, fucking hell, they annoy me as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good point on blogging in general, really, that if you can do that, you'll get success. Definitely.
Okay, so we've got the length.
Yeah.
We've got the frequency,
yeah.
we've got the traffic, we'll land on our blog. What's the rules of converting? What's the best way to convert so we can at least get their email address?
Yeah, there's obviously a few ways. Hopefully if you listen to the podcast you know the basics, but if not, we abide by the sort of inbound methodology. We use a lot of internal links in blogs. CTAs is the big one. We create content that links to the articles we're writing, so we always want to answer the question but then also have a next step. So if somebody's here searching for a solution to the problem, by and large we want to be able to get them to that end point, and for us that's us doing their marketing and helping them